Hello, everyone. This is Kathy, and I'm here with Fun with Folders number 2. And this is just a short series where I explore making various types of folders for my journal. Today I'm going to make this one. Let me show you what I did. It's simply made from maybe 1.5 pieces of 12 by 12 paper. The front, you have almost a coin pocket that I separated into 2. I stitched the bottom to make this into a side pocket here. And then on the top, I added that as a pocket and a little flap to serve as the closure. Then you open it up, and there's a little vertical pocket here. And here I've made a little fold out that reveals 2 smaller pockets, actually 4 pockets. There's a pocket, a little pocket on top of a bigger pocket in each of these areas. It's hard to see on this paper. And then this folds out, and I made a little place to jot things down. So that folds in, that folds over, and that folds over. And there I have a cute little folder for my journal. Or it can be a standalone if I wanted it to be. And that's what we're going to make. So let's get started. I'll leave this here for reference. First of all, I took one 12 by 12 piece of double-sided paper, and I cut it at 7.5 inches high by 12 inches. And I've already done that. I'm going to set this piece aside. And then what I did is I took my scoreboard and I scored it at 4 inches and 8 inches so that I have something that looks like this. I fold back the top piece and then fold this together so that this will serve as the cover pocket. Next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do this without sewing like I did in this one. This one I took it to my machine and I sewed it, which would have been here. Today I'm just going to glue it like that so that those of you who don't sew can still make it easily. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the notch for the pocket. Now, the pockets on the front, I'm going to do a little differently because the fold is on the right here. So I'm going to make one of the notches here. Right there. And I'm going to make a notch up top. Actually, I'm going to cut it a little before I do. And the reason I'm going to do that is I want this to be a little lower. So I'm going to cut off, about 1 inch. Turn my scissors correctly. And I'm going to cut it over right before the score line. Just like that. Now I'm going to make a notch in the top. Just like that. And I love this corner rounder and notcher. I bought this really for the notcher. I got it off of Amazon, and it's by Spellbinders. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it at the bottom, then I'm going to glue it at the center and the side. So glue it here at the bottom and at the side. Turn that. Make sure it gets stuck. And when it dries thoroughly, I'll have a pocket at the top and a pocket at the side. And what I forgot to do that I should have done in the first place is I wanted to ink it a little bit. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a flap up here so that it looks like a coin envelope. So I'm going to look for some leftovers or something that match. Okay. This looks like a good piece. And I'm going to cut a piece that hits the top and covers the notch. So that needs to be about, I'm going to make it 1.5 inches. Use my cutter. Actually, I want this side to show. Let's make it 1.5. And that was 4 inches wide. So this is going to go right up here. But I'm just going to round the corners. Just like that. And I'm also, while I'm here, I'm going to use this one because it's a little easier. I'm going to round the corners here, 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 and here, and here. So that this is going to go right there. And what I'm going to do, let me see how much room I have. I'm going to cut a strip, which I should have just made it, instead of 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches, which I didn't do. Going to take this strip. This is going to serve as my hinge. I'm going to simply fold it in half as best as I can. You know what, I'm going to use my scoreboard to make it cleaner. and just score it at 1/2 inch. And now I'm going to fold it. Actually scored it on 1/4 inch. Okay. Geesh. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip the corners both ways. And this is going to be glued right here. And do it this way. And I'm going to trim that after I put it down, making sure it's lined up. Make sure the corners are the same. Put glue on this side. And now I have a little hinge that allows me to open up the little flap. Let me line it up right. Okay. Just like that. And I'm going to put a eyelet in. And this is going to go here. And let me also add some yarn or some twine. And I'm going to put that yarn in the hole before I fasten the eyelet. That will hold my yarn in place, or my twine in place. Put it in just like that, making sure that the twine is facing the bottom because it's going to wrap towards the bottom. Just like that. I can close this one. Okay, I'm going to trim the back here. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a small piece to go here. And I'm going to use this. And I'm going to cut, round it, and this is going to go right here eventually. But first, I'm going to cut some circles. I'm going to cut it out of this green. I'm going to cut a few of these. I'm going to cut 3 because I want it to be kind of stiff. So I'm going to glue the 3 circles together. And this is a 1 inch circle punch. So now I have 3 of those. And I'm going to ink it. Then I'm going to take a brad and I'm going to punch the brad through just the circles. And I'm actually going to use the little hole punch here. Put the brad through, adhere it to the back. Smash it down. Now I'm going to glue this Actually, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to put this through this as well. Silly me. Then I'm going to push it through both, just like that. Adhere it to the back. And now I'm going to put glue on this. And the reason I did this, that saved me from having to go through the pockets to put the brad through. Plus it makes it extra sturdy. So I'm going to put it right here. And this will go this way. And I'm going to cut this. And I always like to make a knot at the bottom. Or put a bead. Just like that. Okay, so that's the front of the journal. We can always decorate it. Now the inside, I'm going to put a vertical pocket here. And now I'm just looking through scraps to see if I have anything that will work. And I think I do. I have some pieces here. Whoop, I want my ruler. So let me get my cutter. And we know this was 7.5 inches high, so I'm going to cut this at 7.5 inches as well. Maybe a tad under. And I'm going to make it around, I'd say maybe 3 inches. No, 2.5. I think 2 inches will be fine. Just like that. Notch it. Going to go like this. And I stuffed around these corners. This is on the 1/4 inch side. Ink it up. Go around the bottom and the 2 sides. And I'll put that right in place. That gives us a nice vertical pocket. Now we're going to work on this side, and we're going to make, let's see if I have another piece of this would be great. Move some of this out of the way. Let's see. Okay, I have more of that, which is perfect. And okay, I'm gonna use my cutter again. And we're gonna cut it at 4 inches, a little less than 4 inches. Let's do 3 3/4. Another one the same. What's on the back? Okay. And then we'll cut these down to 3 inches. Let's see if that works. So these are 3 by 3 3/4, and they're going to go right in here. That's perfect. And I am going to round the corners of these just at the bottom. Notch the tops. ink them up. So they're going to go here. Always have to check and make sure that everything opens and folds as it should. I'm going to glue these down at the sides and the bottom. This here. And the other. I love these little folders because they're so simple to make, easy. If you're new, it's nice to be able to learn something that you can do without having to use so many materials that you might not own yet. Now I'm going to put a couple of smaller pockets on top of here, and I'm going to use this. So I know this was 3 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to make this 2.5 by 2 3/4. Oh, I cut something wrong. This is 2.5 by 2 3/4. And I'm going to notch these as well. And these are going to go right here, but I'm also going to round these corners. Just at the bottom. Ink them up. And I'm using scorched timber. That's my go-to lately. And that goes here. Easy peasy. Making sure the notches line up. The paper I'm using is from Stamperia, and it's called Alchemy. Okay. So far, that's the inside. And then we can always decorate it here. Let me see what I have over here. Whoops, so sorry. Make sure that's still where it's supposed to be. Yeah. And I think this one would be pretty. And this one. And I'm simply going to cut it by hand instead of, I don't know where my larger hole punch is, as usual. I just cleaned my everything and I don't know. You know that goes. It's gonna go there. Okay. Ink-a-dink-a-doo. Get rid of the white on the edges. Okay. So we're just going to glue those. Okay, next, I need a little flip out for here, as we did in this one. And it's a place to hold a little journal. So this, remember I dropped my ruler, there it is. This is 7.5 inches. Okay, so let me find well, this might do it. Let's see if I have a better piece. I have this piece. So we're going to make it 7.5 inches. By, I'm going to measure the other way. Now that was silly. By 4 3/4. So that's 7.5 by 4 3/4. And I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. The reason I'm scoring it at 1/2 inch is that's going to be my hinge. So that leaves me with 7. So I'm going to score it at 3.5. Where am I here? Okay. Just like this. Okay, so the hinge, I'm going to snip the corners. And I'm going to take this, I don't want it to overlap where this window starts. Now the smarter thing would be to have put this on first and then put the pockets over it, but I didn't do that, so we'll have to go with it as is. But remember, when you're making this, put this opening down first and then the pockets will cover the hinge. Okay, you want to make sure, first of all, that it's halfway. You know, about halfway. And that you're lining up the edge of this like that. And you want to make sure everything closes like that. Okay. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this. Let me see if I can use this. Yes. And I'm going to use this side because it's pretty. I'm going to cut about 2 inches off. I'm going to fold that in half. I'm going to round the corners. Make it nice and crisp. And I'm going to take some paper. And this beautiful coffee dyed paper is by Vintage Style Snippets. If you watch my channel, you know that I love her. She does the best work. And I'm going to cut this into little pieces. That was, how big was that? A memory like a sieve. That was around 4.5 inches long, 3 inches. So we're going to cut it about 3 inches, like this. And cut another 3 inches. Save that. And this was 4. Cut this into 4 1/4. And 4 1/4. Save that. Make sure it works. Yes, it does. Take a stapler. And staple it. Then I'm going to glue it in. I'm not going to put it all the way in, just like that. cut this just a bit. And I'm going to glue this in. And I'm actually going to glue this back piece too. Don't glue the back piece if you want to add paper later. You know, if you want to be able to add. Makes it easier if you don't. That's that. Okay. Now I could add a pocket here, but I think it would be too much. So, all we have left to do is a little bit of decorating. Let's see what I have. I have some things we can add to pockets. I came with this Stamperia paper. Actually, I'm just going to add, not make it a bookmark. And we'll tuck that right in there. Let's see. I have some cards. I'm not quite sure if they'll fit anywhere, but we can always cut them down. Actually, this might go better here. We'll put that there. And I think I'm going to try to use this as a little, try to use this as a little decoration. Always like to put hearts in. All right, like that. Okay. And maybe some other things to add here. Let's see what we've got. We've got some cards. Maybe we can make them into little journaling things to go into these pockets. I think we can, if we cut off some borders. I know I'm making this place a big mess. there. Put this right in the top. Let me actually see if oh, no, it's only halfway, I forgot. Okay. And one more. Let's see. Okay. Very simple. I don't like the way this is sticking out. Let's see if we can trim it just a bit. That's better. Okie dokie. Well, let's see what we did. We have a little coin envelope with a pocket and a pocket over here. Pocket over here. Open it up. We have a little side pocket with some cards and bookmark. Open this up. We have 4 pockets here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And open this up, and you have a little place for journaling. There's still lots more to decorate, but you get the gist of this cool pocket folder for your journal. And I hope you make it. And the neat thing is you can add whatever you want to any kind of flaps that you want to these, you know. So, okie doke. Well, you all have a great one. And thanks for joining me for Fun with Folders number 2. You have a good one. Bye.